am on my webcam. Like I said, I feel guilty about not having gotten videos made for you, so I'm going to try to do several here. This first video here is a lot to unpack. I'm going to do a video on the whole Meghxit train wreck and debacle. And we'll examine some of the issues. I have like 4 pages of notes. So we'll try to cover all this in a reasonable amount of time. Okay. First of all, she first came on the scene, back in 2017, 18-ish. Anyway, I hadn't heard of her. I heard she was a liberal, so I was immediately suspicious, but on the surface she didn't really do anything that I could complain about or call into question. So I'm like, well, let's give her the benefit of the doubt, hope it all works out, and, just hope for the best. And, so, I wasn't down on her or anything. I'm suspicious because of left wing. But yeah, I'm like, hope for the best. Okay, and then even as I watched, this year I saw some things saying, oh, they're in trouble, and I saw Katie Hopkins saying, she needs to leave England and get out. I said, well, Katie Hopkins is a good, tough journalist, but I thought maybe she was overreacting a bit on this case of Meghan. Of course, as an American, I'm not there. I don't know what the British public has been thinking in all this time. And as far as them complaining about being criticized, the main criticisms that we've seen have been that they spent a lot of money on their house, spent a lot of taxpayer money, and then they also were lecturing people about climate change, and then were flying in big jets and the big carbon footprint. So, those are the legitimate criticisms I have heard. I haven't particularly heard anything else that was super crazy. The tabloids always say nutty things about the royals, like Kate and Camilla in a drag-out fight, the Queen kicks them out, Charles abdicates, William is king, things like that. The tabloids are always saying stuff like that. And that's the kind of thing you just laugh it off. But if they're hoping to shut down all criticism, that is just ridiculous. So there's so much to unpack here. So much. All right. The first real inkling, I'll say us outsiders, I'd say I'm a casual royal watcher, just a casual one. The first real inkling that we had that there was problems going down was with, that documentary in the fall, and plus there was a Australia documentary saying what's going wrong with Harry and Meghan. Didn't seem like it took long for things to go wrong. And, obviously, I guess they're not used to being on YouTube, because on YouTube, when you say, don't pick on me, don't bully me in my channel, you get piled on. So, making that documentary kind of was an invitation to pile on us more. So, that's just life. They may not have known that. And also, the fact that it was released without the permission of the Queen, and, they're sort of, just sort of disregarding the family. And I'm also going to answer some of the leftist defense positions of Meghxit. Well, first of all, they'll say, oh, she couldn't stand it. The royal family bent over backwards to make sure they were happy and comfortable. And that is a fact. And, like I said, the one other lady, I think her name was Camilla, was had royal connection. She said that the paparazzi is not doing things like it used to. They have been mostly protected from that kind of hounding. And also, Diana, she stuck it out and tried to make her marriage work. They were married in 81, and the divorce didn't come through until around 94, 95, around that time. So we give Diana credit for trying to work with them, and it just didn't work out. But Meghan has barely been there 2 years. So far, it looks like the classic gold digger scheme. You get in, get the marriage, get the baby, grab what you can, and get out. It's unfortunate that comes out to be that way, but it doesn't look like there was much of an attempt to try to get along. Now, this Meghxit is a scandal on multiple levels. And the leftists are like, oh, they're just in love. We're just so mean to them. Well, actually, the watchers, the negative watchers who predicted this kind of thing happening are also predicting divorce will be following soon. So then the people who put out how much love, 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 the choice is love, will have an entire 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 egg omelet on their face if divorce follows here in the next couple of years. So remember that, all you optimistic lefties. You might get an omelet on your face for your optimism. All right, and plus these leftists, they do not understand the workings of the monarchy. They do not understand business. They don't understand family. They don't get the whole mess. They don't understand why. To them, it's all just people just picking on poor little Meghan. She couldn't be a gold digger now, could she? All right, but this, seems to confirm it. All right. It's a scandal it's a family scandal. Like I said, obviously, if they weren't anybody, no one would care about their family scandal. However, they are the royals, so it is a public family scandal. So first of all, that's a pretty rotten thing to do to your family. After they bent over backwards to give you everything, and they just had a nice long break. They were rested. They were not falling apart physically and mentally. They were rested. They did not have to flee and make a break for it like they just did. And also, like I said, there's just so much here. I saw one of the videos that said that the Queen has custody of her grandchildren, but like I said, that probably doesn't include great-grandchildren. So in that case, that's not a problem, but I was thinking that possibly could be one of the reasons they left the baby in Canada, in case the Crown would try to say that the Queen had custody of him. So that could be another reason why they want to keep the baby away from the royal family. That's another point to be made. So yes, it's a pretty rotten thing to do to your family. And shows disloyalty, and I think all other families who value family feelings and value family ties and bonds realize what you just did. And it's even worse, you're going in and breaking up your in-laws' family. So technically, a homewrecker on a grand scale. Then, since the royal family sort of comes under the umbrella of a family business, this is a scandal on the family business. It'd be like, someone in the family business say, I'm quitting, I'm taking this money and I'm leaving. It's a scandal because the family break up, and a scandal because it's the family business. Lack of respect for the other members of the family, other members of the business. And to which she signed her marriage contract. She went in with her eyes open. And yes, you can get out of things, but you should try to get out of them with a little dignity and a little bit of human decency. There's really no excuse for this behavior, other than that she really wanted to cause a big stink to gain publicity for whatever, like you said, I guess any publicity she considers as good publicity, even if it's bad publicity. Because I guess her fans, like Antifa and the far left, will not abandon her. Okay, the royal family is a family business that is also uniquely a part of the government. And unlike, presidents and prime ministers, it's more of a permanent part of the government. They don't come and go. So that makes it a national scandal. A family scandal, a family business scandal, a national scandal. Also because they were funded by taxpayer money, they were employees. The royal family is essentially employees of the nation. So, the nation is not too happy about these employees who suddenly decided to walk out with the situation still ambiguous of how their money and security is going to work. Because a nation that already resented them, this is just like volcanic times 1,000 or more. So we'll see how this plays out. In a more looser terms, you could say it's a American versus Britain scandal, since she was an American actress who went over there and tried to wreak havoc on the monarchy. So you could say that, a scandal on that level. You could also say it's a scandal of Canada versus Britain because she is trying to pit one country against another. So you see, get an idea of just how far-reaching and deep this conflict is. And yeah, the lefties that act like this is all for love are naive, to say the least. Naive and not thinking things through. And lastly, you could also consider it a race relation crisis. Because you know how at the wedding, well, first of all, it was like, oh, the relations between America and Britain will be great now. And then the relations between, Britain and, the colored black population will be so much better because now they have a woman of color in the monarchy. So I guess by her doing this, that will cause a rift between all these communities and all these countries. So you see how complicated it is? It's quite complicated. So I've just unpacked for you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 scandals that this has caused. So yes, it is big.